This is Sybert signing into Red Alert 3 on the map Cabana Republic for this very special 1v1 on the left side. Playing the red, this is Pika.
And on the right side, surprise, there's a co-caster. On the right side, playing as our Soviet, we have GreenAlert. We're going to have some dog-bear battle. Also with a conscript and an engineer. The dogs are barking, but there's too much reinforcements here. The engineer survives, and these doggies will get cleaned up.
There's always the hope that the second or third dog will actually get the engineer. But unfortunately for Pika, no such luck. However, it is a special game because, of course, Machine from the General's Gentleman is here on the co-cast, and I think for the first time we are co-casting without like a 10,000 mile delay between the two of us. We are remarkably close here.
Oh my god, are you seeing this dog? Oh, he just noticed.
Oh no, the Vindicator.
Oh.
Bonk. But yeah, that dog was just like sitting there waiting for that engineer.
And the bears all moved away. That could have been very, very tragic. Yeah, so I've just moved to the US from Australia. I've been here for about a month. And so my very first priority after moving to the US was cast some Red Alert 3 with Sybert.
Yeah, that's a good priority. I agree with that priority. Just like I agree with the priority of that Vindicator to kill the engineer and then kill a bullfrog afterwards. But it's great to have you here once again. We've casted just about everything in the Command & Conquer lineup in the past, and so it's great to be back with some Red Alert 3 action. We got a nice big map, Cabana Republic. We've got Pika and GreenAlert, who have both been... Pika's been playing well in the last couple of years. Not playing a super ton recently, and GreenAlert, I feel like, has been playing super well recently. So I'm excited to see how these two match up against each other, and how they take this Soviets versus Allies on a big map like Cabana Republic.
Yeah, I think we're on track for our average co-cast quota of once every 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, we're going to nail it this time.
Yeah, and I'll see you again in 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
I do love this map because it's quite nostalgic. I remember playing this game so much when I was like a dweeby 15-year-old kid. And this was like one of the original maps. It actually may have been like the map in the beta. I don't quite remember. Oh, look at this bullfrog cap. That's really cute. Launching the engineer over the old Derek, over the cliff, gets the cap, and actually it's his first cap for the entire game, and it's his opponent's old Derek. But Cap's the second one now, so he's on track. Finally getting these tech buildings after losing so many engineers.
You always want those oil derricks, and then the allied player Vindicator bombs you, and you just have to go for the secondary oil cap, but oh well. And yeah, this was one of the beta maps from the very beginning of Red Alert 3. I always am surprised that it was Cabana Republic and not Infinity Isle. But it was like Cabana Republic, and I think they maybe had another... Maybe Temple Prime or something was the other 1v1 beta map. And,
well, I think this is a great map to showcase the game. Like, it has a lot of naval interaction. There's a lot of, like, water bases. It also has like a nice kind of mix of tech buildings and the elevation. Like we've seen GreenAlert make use of the bullfrog launch, whatever the thing is called. So, and like the sickle jump on the high ground. So I think it was a map that was kind of built with the innovations of Red Alert 3 in mind at the time.
And probably not very many people in the beta actually used them because, you know, the game was brand new and still changing.
Yeah.
But, you know, people have figured out a lot of that kind of stuff now. GreenAlert going for a war factory. He skipped the flak cannon. He did not go heavy into flak. I mean, he got a couple of bullfrogs out early on, despite the fact that he lost that engineer to the Vindicator. He just was not worried about any kind of allied rush coming from Pika. But now that things have stabilized and near the 5-minute mark, we've got third bases up for everyone. Vindicators come in and kill the airfield. So before a single MiG or twin blade gets produced, the airfield for the Soviet player gets knocked down. Riptide's on the north side of the map getting frozen by this Terror Drone Micro, and that's one of those things that you can keep up for a while, but you can't keep up forever.
Yeah, really nice that he sniped that Soviet airfield because his own airfield is full of Vindicators. There's no Apollos, and there's no space for Apollos, so dealing with some MiGs would have been a little tricky for him. He's bought himself some time. He can keep these Vindicators in the air, looking for some kind of bombing targets, maybe this 4th base, this refinery in the water.
Vindicators on the move out. Pika grabs back his own oil derrick, returns that to his own control, and, well, the Vindicators just go for an ore collector. They went all that way, and then they were like, I guess we'll just settle for the ore collector. On the north side of the map, a couple of Riptides getting eliminated for the allied player, and also, Pika loses another engineer. So unfortunately for Pika, he has settled for both of the observation posts and only one of the oil derricks. But you mentioned that airfield problem. Well, this second airfield at the 4th refinery location now has tier 2. First cryocopter actually gets eliminated. Those bullfrogs catch it.
Hammer tanks moving in. All they find are Vindicator bombs. Bullfrogs swooping in don't quite get a killing blow. So control of the middle in the hands of Pika, filling up these buildings with peacekeepers. No signs of javelins though. I do remember javelins being pretty bad, right? They cost 400. I don't know, has there been balance changes in that new map pack that everyone plays?
No, not really any balance changes, just bug fixes. But, yeah, Javs are actually amazing. Bullfrogs come in, one Vindicator down, but one Cryocopter as well. A couple of Bullfrogs get eliminated, and actually both? No, one Cryocopter did survive. Very, very low on health. Would be amazing to have a MiG to hunt that down, but no MiGs just yet.
Maybe I'm thinking of the Flak Troopers.
Yeah, Flak Troopers are quite bad.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, so I haven't casted this game in 4 years, so basically I'm the work experience kid. I'm showing up for my trial shift. Sybert's, he's paying me in hamburgers at this point, so my apologies for anything like really stupid that I say. That's just like, what are you on about? Yeah.
But I thought you were maybe remembering the old stats of the Jav Trooper, because it did used to be 400, and then it, like, you know, patch 11 or patch 12, it got changed. But Tesla Coil cleans up the Riptides at the GreenAlert 4th base there. There is now a MiG out on the map, but unfortunately that MiG wasn't able to hunt down the very low health Cryocopter, and now that Cryocopter has gone back up to full health. Nice Harvester snipe in the main base. Pika gets a kill, but then the Riptide gets eliminated, and it seems like the trading of the oil derricks will end, as Pika has given up recapturing those oil derricks and just wants to go for a kill.
Observation post recaptured up top. Usually these buildings are completely ignored, so I love seeing players actually make use of that. But we do have the expansion up the north. We have GreenAlert moving his MCV all the way up north. He has cancelled his refinery though. I swear he was building one. So we could see quite a long eco game with refineries in the south water, refineries in the corner bases, and even up top in the water.
Well, Pika trying to even out that economic footing between the two players. Snipes a refinery in the south as GreenAlert goes for this expansion in the north. Riptide gets shut down up there as well. And yeah, it's so funny to see more than one observation post captured in a single game. But the fact that both have been captured and that GreenAlert then recaptured his own oil derrick is even better. And the engineer gets sniped! GreenAlert tries to go for his opponent's oil derrick, doesn't quite get it, and Athena cannons are out on the map. That forward, that like somewhat proxy war factory now all the way up to tier 3, pumping out Athena cannons, and this is going to make it difficult for GreenAlert.
Yeah, those south bases in the water are very risky. They're so close to many things. But big battle in the center. Bullfrogs get a couple of kills on the Vindicators. IFV's trading blows. But the Athena cannons, and it's now supplemented by the Mirage tank. So this is a scary land army, and there's nothing really here nearby to defend this for GreenAlert. He had a couple of hammer tanks up north being transported around, but this Cooler sub is doing some heavy damage against this ore refinery. However, here come the cryocopters, supported by a multi-gunner turret, just gets out of range, so the Aquila sub can lurk in the water. It can wait for a nice angle to attack this refinery away from the turret.
Ooh, toxins get dropped here on the front line, forcing Pika forward or into death. One Mirage tank does still remain, but now the cryocopters are here. Hammer tank's going to be backing off. Random hodgepodge of units from Pika, but it's enough to hold the line.
Yeah, I'm not used to this unit mixing. Where I come from in Zera, people don't mix units. They just build Humvees and quads, so really nice to see. Finally takes out that naval yard, and we do now have the refinery up north. So with the water bases down south cleared, GreenAlert having to transition up north. But it will be a lot of hammers, trying to get some snipes here on this Athena, and the cryo shot saves it. Also, javelins are firing from this building, so a really good defensive position.
GreenAlert desperately wants one of these hammer tanks to be able to steal some of these allied weapons. One hammer tank gets a Mirage weapon, and did one actually get the Athena cannon weapon? He did!
I think
So we've got an Athena hammer tank here. It immediately gets shrunk. Pika wants to kill off that hammer tank if he can. Letting hammer tanks escape with allied weapons can be deadly in a couple of minutes.
Apollos are in the north, not quite doing much, but this expansion is looking quite exposed. With all of the bullfrogs down south, the cryocopters may want to try to find a snipe, but they are engaging these bullfrogs, and the twin blades do clean up those javelins. So
the MiG finally finds the kill.
GreenAlert has managed to secure this part of the map in the middle, but still lost his refinery. But IFV is getting some big shots on these twin blades. They're also wounded. Might want to take them back to get repaired. And look at these hero vindicators one-shotting hammer tanks.
I just realized I don't know that GreenAlert ever got a crusher crane.
Oh, he had one, but I think it was destroyed or he sold it. There definitely was one near the refinery. So yeah, no way to repair these MiGs.
Okay, so a second crusher crane is coming up in the main base. But yeah, the twin blades taking heavy damage and not being able to be repaired. IFV's going for another couple of shots there. One Mirage tank gets cleaned up, and that's enough to turn Pika around for the current moment. But without that crusher crane, things were looking dicey for GreenAlert. Glad that he's finally got it up and running, and that fifth refinery is now up and running in the north.
Really good twin blade micro, sniping in those Mirage tanks, backing away before the IFVs do too much damage. May need a Tesla coil here as well to keep these Mirage tanks at bay. There is, however, an Athena cannon, and so it'll buy time, but it won't buy a lot of time. No sign of naval units. There is this naval yard, and there is tier 3. But for now, the refineries up north are mining away unchecked.
Ooh, IFVs finally get a couple of twin blades that they've been looking for this pretty much whole game long. Athena cannons popping off these tanks as they try and deal with that Aegis shield. But it's one of those things where you have to have the firepower to take down those Athena cannons, knowing that they're going to pop that Aegis shield, and GreenAlert just does not have that. So the longer that Pika can just piecemeal out the army of GreenAlert, knocking down individual units one by one with those Athena cannons from range, the better it is for Pika. Hammer tanks getting targeted. Bears coming in, leading the charge as the twin blades don't do anything.
Oh, is that to soak up shots? That's actually a really cute micro trick.
Yeah, yeah.
We do also have an aircraft carrier on the field. This could be a devastating EMP cannon on all of these hammer tanks, but they're getting shredded by these Mirage. Not a very good engagement there for GreenAlert. He's lost a lot of his army.
Ooh. The idea was there, but the execution just did not land, unfortunately, for GreenAlert. And yeah, that aircraft carrier is now threatening that refinery. GreenAlert has a real timer on this game that he has to do something about. And the main base of GreenAlert is basically abandoned at this point. He even abandons it himself, flying his hammer tanks out along the north side of the map, and he's like, well, I guess we'll just go for the base trade. He's got the 2 refineries on the water, so he can survive for a little while out on the water, but Pika's smashing this game.
There are a few Dolphins up north, but there is a Tesla coiler defending one of the refineries. The right refinery actually isn't defended, but the Dolphins are slacking on the job.
Hammer tanks getting dropped off on the high ground. This MCV now being targeted. It's been hanging out up here by itself for so long, and now it's going to be going in for those hammer tanks. Taking a bit of a pause there, and I guess he'll just try and sell it off or get an engineer inside of it. He sells it off. Cryo Shot comes in, but the Twin Blades are still here on Overwatch over top of these units. Twin Blades not able to stop this Peacekeeper, who goes heroic as he cleans up those hammer tanks. And that triple hammer tank kill makes that so much more worth it for Pika.
Main base completely cleared out for a GreenAlert. The game has maybe equalized a little bit with bases falling left, right, and center. No MCV, however, for Pika. He does still have the tier 3 attached to the command hub, so he hasn't lost access to his tech.
Pika going for the harassment in the north. Couple of Dolphins moving in, but the Twin Blades are close enough to clear that out. And yeah, the tier 3 exists. The one thing that's nice for GreenAlert is it means as long as that MCV is down, which is maybe only about 5 more seconds, there are no one-clicks coming in from Pika. No support powers to be used. Mirage tanks get jumped on, but it's really the Twin Blades that are getting surprised by these IFVs. And there's the MCV rebuilt by Pika.
Whoa, Athena cannon firing from downtown at this super reactor. That's going to take out the tech and the power requirements as well. Other refinery falls. So GreenAlert finally pushed off to the sea. He is now an amphibious creature. No land structures, just a handful of garrisons.
Yeah. He does technically have a barracks, but that is very little to actually do anything.
Don't forget he has an observation post.
Oh, yeah.
Well, 2 of them.
Yes, the observation posts. Apollo's showing up here. Unfortunately for GreenAlert, he has tried several things to be able to get out of this situation, and he has just not been able to extract himself. Twin Blades go into the sky and get the kill on the aircraft carrier in a funny little dance of micro in the north there. Crusher Crane being added on for GreenAlert, perhaps his last hurrah, crushing his MCV and then using the cash boost to try and build something. There are not a lot of options left here for GreenAlert.
Well, he has a cooler sub lurking. He's going to find this refinery, and actually the multi-gunner turret is on low power mode, but hydrofoil, very easy to disarm that one. Oh, that's a super... What is that? I'm so confused.
Magnetic Singularity. Not something you saw very often a long time ago, but Magnetic Singularity is one of those things that people have really started using it more and have found a lot of very powerful ways to use it. That's like Toxin Drop and Magnetic Singularity both have had a sort of resurgence because Dimon in particular got like really good at zoning out everyone with his Toxin Drops. Like he really figured Toxin Drops out. It feels like better, more efficiently than almost anyone else. But yeah, Magnetic Singularity fires off there. Unfortunately, it misses. It didn't actually get the hydrofoil that it was aiming for, and the result is Pika just stripping even further ahead of GreenAlert in this game.
Because I was going to say, the super weapon wasn't doing much damage. I wanted a refund on that super weapon. It's a little harder to remember the super weapons in Red Alert 3. They're like a little more... well, a little less like normal. You know, there's no nuclear missile or ion cannon. It's just kind of like whatever weird sci-fi thing.
Yeah. We don't have a nuclear missile. We have a vacuum imploder, which is functionally the exact same, but we call it something different.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, Super Reactor's been rebuilt on the water, and he's actually built to the tier 3 as well, a battle lab.
Yeah.
The coolers are being rebuilt as well, but with hydrofoils and dolphins, it's a little hard to make use of them. Might want to go for some stingrays, I guess. You know, not as vulnerable to those hydrofoils.
Yeah, and like when you got
stingrays terrible though? I have a feeling they are.
They would be in this situation. There are a couple of like specific situations where they do work, but like with this kind of a comp, the Soviet player really just has to wait for the ultra torpedoes to reset because you can fire those from underwater.
He gets 2 snipes on the hydrofoils.
Yeah.
And now he has 1 more cooler than there are hydrofoils, so which is pretty important because then they can actually do stuff. But Dreadnought's been built. He doesn't have any units defending this though. Oh, is he firing? No, what is that?
The Stingray does go for the overcharge, and yeah, the magnetic singularity fires off. Doesn't actually get anything. Keeps the army moving. Ooh, Cryogeddon coming in on top of the tier 3, on top of the Crusher Crane as well. GreenAlert forced to sell it off, and he'll lose the Crusher Crane to the Dolphin, which ends up just briefly freezing itself, and GreenAlert continuing to be unable to deal with this allied firepower that comes in from Pika. Pika will, I think, eventually get cleaned up here, but like at what cost?
The Battle Lab went down as well, and that one was not sold, and that's the only... Oh no, there is a Conyard. He's moved back to the land. So that's pretty cool. The thing is for Pika is that his base is going to be depleting ore very soon. Actually, they both have depleted ore. So his main income is now coming from the water, but he has re-expanded to both water bases.
And I didn't realize Pika's high ground expansion, the harvester has just been frozen there. I don't know how long it's just been sitting, but that cuts down on his income somewhat considerably. And Pika normally would have like plus 5k income, and that's just dwindling because he has so few working harvesters. His water expansion is empty, as you mentioned. His main base is depleted, and he's just having a hard time actually keeping units moving, but that it doesn't matter. The GG comes out. GreenAlert has been defeated. Pika, it felt like death of 1,000 cuts for GreenAlert. Pika had a number of good moves there, but was never able to totally close out the game. And slowly he just bled GreenAlert dry.
Pika's pushed through the middle, taking out the refinery in the water, trading really well against those hammers. He had map control, had the eco advantage, was trading better. A very, very cute micro game from Pika as well. I loved seeing... The dolphin snipe was pretty sick, really making use of the mobility of those dolphins to avoid like the slow stingray, avoid the subs, rely on the cryo shot for some pretty good value.
But in the end, it's the allies who reign supreme. GreenAlert, I think if he would have realized, he would have sniped it a lot earlier, but he probably just didn't quite click for him that was where all of the tech was for the allied player. And that'll do it for this game. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Sybert signing out.
Thanks, see you later.